we're at the tail end of the year. So, what are you looking forward to learning in 2025?
I would say maybe a couple more new experiences, but majority how to get out of the industry. I would say the service industry, how to get out of that. That's something I'm looking forward to, like learning how to do that. That's what I was talking about earlier. Is just like I have to focus on what I have to focus on, and that is the big focus. Is one of those. Is that what I'm realizing? I'm like I'm wasting time doing shit here. That's what I felt like this past like few weeks. I'm like, why am I doing extra stuff in this place when I could just be not be doing this and be focusing what I want to focus on more? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I
So
would, I
this
was, yeah, I would say that's the biggest thing.
so this was the spot that you said earlier in the year you had transitioned into this new role at this new place. And so like I guess what happened between you were feeling it earlier and then now you're like this is just isn't it? Is it just because like okay, you spent time doing something and you're like I actually don't want to do this or was it something else?
That was a big thing, and also getting more responsibilities. And I was like, and now I'm mentally like, why am I getting more responsibility when I don't care this much? It's easy way to make money for sure, but it's like that's to extent of how much I care. You know what I mean? I do my job enough
Mhm.
to not get talked to crazy and to just like get make money, you know? So I'm like,
Mhm.
why am I accepting more responsibility for things? And then something dumb happened yesterday, and I'm like, it's partially my fault.
Mhm.
And on my day off, I was like, I was like, this is yeah, I was like, this is a lot of like a lot of a setback happened that I feel like wasn't my fault at all. And yeah, I came in on my day off to do it, and I was stayed there for like 5 hours, and I'm like, this is a lot. I was like, why am I doing all this? I could have been in a session right now. You know what I mean? I could have been in a session or doing something like creative wise right now that I could like really be wanting to do. But why am I doing
Mhm.
this right now? And I was just like,
Mhm.
I was like, I need to find a way I can do other things full time. So or more
Mhm.
full time, I would say, so I won't have to feel this way again. I think that's the main thing was
Mhm.
it. It was like a feeling that I've felt in a while, and I was like, why am I still feeling this way after all this time?
Yeah.
For like a similar reason. And I'm like, all right, cool, time to fix it.
Yeah. I think it happens to a lot of people where they don't like something but they think if I can change it slightly, maybe like to the extent of okay, maybe if I go to a place that I do like doing the same thing I do, will that help? It doesn't. Okay, well maybe if I go to a place that like okay, I do the same thing I'm doing, but it's like you said, more responsibilities. Will I enjoy the extra responsibilities that make what I'm doing more enjoyable? Okay, no, that didn't work either. So it's like trying to figure out what you like and what you already do, and if you and then if you figure out once you figure out I don't like any of it. I don't like any of it. I don't like the way it's framed. I don't like the packaging. I don't like the entire box of it. I want to do something else entirely. And then that's when people feel like now I have to leave. Now I have to figure out okay, I've been doing this for long enough. How do I get out? Um I get that. I get that a lot cuz that's what I've been feeling for a year and a half now. So
I feel
that's
like,
so that
I told myself this is my last serving job anyway, so I was like, it's time basically. I'm like,
mm,
it's time. Or
yeah.
last
Do
bartending
you
job, whatever it's called, whatever, same shit.
do,
But I told
do
myself this is
you
the last time though.
mm-hmm. Do you feel as if you can like take something from it to go to like the next one, to the next whatever you try to do?
Oh, million
Because
percent.
okay.
Yeah, million percent. I feel like my social, like just social skills in general, are like at it's hard to get higher than this. I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel like it's harder to get higher than this, like for real. And this is like so I feel like one of the things I've learned for sure, how to read people, I would say, understand people feeling and everything. Oh, God tier. Like I've learned like people skills like up the ass for real. And learning how to maneuver, like being, everybody says everyone has to have, like have a professional voice or whatever, have like a professional person's persona or whatever. I feel
Right.
like I've really gotten down. I don't have to have that for real. I can do it my way and it'd be fine. You know what I mean? I feel like I've learned that
Mm-hmm.
way for sure. Like no matter what scenario I'm in, I can always, for the most part, understand how to be myself and make it out of the situation how I want to make it out. Stuff like that. That was the biggest thing I think I've learned possibly. And meeting so many different kinds of people from different kinds of places. I know how to I understand cultures more and how to talk to people and deal with them more. So that, I feel like that's very, very helpful.
Does it does a job like this give you like more confidence or more kind of comfortability in, I guess, who you are, how you carry yourself, like what you do? Does like, or did you already have that kind of confidence outside of the actual job itself? Because the reason I ask is you carry yourself very confidently. You carry yourself very like sure of yourself, and so I just wonder, did the skills you learned on the job like this help, or did you already have that where it was more so you were using that on the job versus the job was helped you gain that?
Mm. Um, I would say maybe half and half. I'm not always confident. I'm just like when I've actually decided to come outside.
Mm-hmm.
That's always a good big
Yeah.
one. When I actually decide to like go outside, I'm like, you know what? I've been feeling good today. I'll go dance. You know what I mean? That's probably a good thing you saw often. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would say like a little half and half kind of situation where it's like I feel like I have to have it somewhere in me already, but I didn't know how to access it. You know what I mean? And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
learning how to doing it so often to different kinds of people and like different kinds of like backgrounds and everything, and learning
Mm-hmm.
how to like still maneuver within my own range of like what I'm comfortable with is
Mm-hmm.
like I have to learn like not perfect it, but like get way better at it. So where it's like it's an accidental thing. So like now it's I can just do this now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
Yeah.
not an accident anymore. Like when that happens, it's not like oh it's not an accident. It's like I know what I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm doing. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
very very intentional.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like yeah, I would say knowledge pool became like larger for it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not guessing anymore. It's like it's I know what to do and what to say to
Mm-hmm.
people. So it's like it's nice.
So then what's next for you if this is like the end of this season, I guess, for you? What's coming up?
Oh, I was thinking right now, mentally trying to understand how to throw events and
Mm-hmm.
throw more of like just like things for people and like and see how that works out. Because I feel like I've not really done bad on events or anything. I feel like with almost no budget majority of times, I still ended up like getting above like what I initially paid for it. And that's like with like just doing it because I'm wanting to do it for fun. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be good to like start like trying to like see how I can actually do it for real. Like put
Mm-hmm.
effort, like real effort, not just like, okay, I put like a day and a half of work in, and that's gonna be all the work I put in into like the week before.
Mm-hmm.
Like consistently putting in effort for it. So it's like it can be a good idea and execute it as well too, versus just like being a good idea, executing it decently, you know?
So
So
then
I'm
break
thinking I'm trying
down
that
for
out.
me. So break that down for me then. How do you what goes into like a good event? And I guess in the way, I guess from the person who participates as well as from the side of the person who throws it, what do you believe goes into a good event?
Oh, okay. I would say a good reason why I think I'm gonna be decent at throwing events is because I've been a fan of the mini events. Like let's say for dance right now, because that's what I'm starting off with anyway. Let's say it's a dance event. I've been to a million dance events, not battled at a million dance events, battled at a good number of dance events now. So like I'm the battle, that's what I'm also doing next is a battle. So it's like I just the understanding of a everything's not always gonna go how you want it to go. You know what I mean? Like not everything's gonna exactly go. So like my mind is open. I have like my things I need to make sure happen, and that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? I have my timeline of how I want everything to go. I have like wiggle room for everything. Like that's the base of everything I need for sure. Everything else though, it's like trusting everybody else you have. Like trusting my judge, MC, DJ, trusting them to do their job very well. Have a strong. Oh, I'll say the system. There we go. That's another good one. The support system people
Mm-hmm.
you have in your corner. I would say this is the first time I've done an event that I'm like not worried at all about,
Mm-hmm.
like at all. Like I'm chilling, honestly. Like I'm genuinely chilling.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know I feel like I said, the personality thing and like the server thing earlier I said about earlier, like knowing people. I feel like everyone I'm working with right now, I have actual relationships with,
Mm-hmm.
like good rapports with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like I trust them with my soul. So I'm like in that like they want to help the boy out. So I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? Like because of
Yeah.
that though, I'm not worried at all. Like I have like a really strong system for this jam, and I'm just like my first jam, and I'm just like, oh, cool. That's not gonna be a problem. Like none of these like none of like the pieces I would say like chess pieces or whatever. None of the chess pieces, they're
Mm-hmm.
all like in good positions. They're all
Mm-hmm.
like in really good advantage positions for me. So I'm just like, oh, this is cool. Like this is easy. Like I'm not like there's no matter what curveballs like might come anyway. I feel like they're gonna be decent. There is gonna be okay. So I feel like that's like the biggest thing that for me personally doing an event is that like understanding like having like a good rapport with everybody you're working with, and everyone just want to make the vision come alive. Those are both like
Mm-hmm.
really big things. And I'm just like, I feel like it's actually happening right now. So it's like, cool,
Mm-hmm.
let's run it.
So you said something in there
And
that I really liked. Um, you talked about support systems. Uh, and that's something that I've thought about a lot over the past couple of years, just in college when we met, and then now of like what is a good support system? What is it like? What does it consist of? Um, do how many people do and don't have support systems? Kind of recognizing, I guess, the importance of one. And I've come to kind of realize that I think the only reason I can do what I do is because of the type of support system that I have. Not necessarily just the fact that I have one, because it kind of hit me that there's different types, which was I think an interesting thought process of you have like your emotional care support systems, but then you also have your like um, productive goal oriented support systems where you have like a set of people who you can go to like talk things out of like here's how I'm feeling, here's what I'm thinking, I just need to get it out. And that can be in the sense of someone you pay like a therapist or just your friends and family. But there's also the other side where these are friends that like or these are just people that you either do or don't know, and like a virtual mentorship is like a support system in a sense, but these are people that you do or don't know who are who you think have aligned the same path as you, and so you look at them and you think, okay, they're doing this, they're like this, they're this kind of person, that's what I'm going towards. And so by either interacting with them or in today's day and age, like consuming their content, you get like the support system of I can do this as well because they did it. I can take their advice and then apply it to myself. Or I can talk to them and see like where they're at, what are they doing? How do they feel? What are they working on? And I can apply that to myself. Um and so I wanted to ask like what kind of support system do you say that you have um, that's helping you do this, helping you think like this event is gonna be good, this event is not gonna have an
mm,
issue as bad, this event is going to um, we've got it handled because I and my support system are involved.
mm. Okay, I would say it's like really big stages in the planning phase and really big stages in like the after phase, I would say. Like I would say for me personally, because I'm doing it in a very conceptual based jam, I would say. So I actually went to people who have either done jams before or people who have done conceptual jam like Decha. You know what I mean? And I've talked to
Mm-hmm.
them like directly about the idea and everything. Like I told like the idea wasn't the first idea. Like it changed like two or three times, but it was like I had a lot of people I can actually like talk to about it and get their opinion on stuff. I feel like that was something I don't really do often, and that was like the biggest like in the planning stages. that was the biggest thing, being able to talk to people and ask them like for direct feedback out of nowhere and having actual genuine feedback and like in their ideas, like in how they would do it or problems they see come up. You know what I mean? I feel like that was a really big help, especially people who already done it before. You know, they just know they know the right questions. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like people who've done it before, they
Yeah.
just know the particular questions that I would
Mm-hmm.
never like wouldn't really necessarily think of. So it
Yeah.
was it's I
It
feel like that was like in the playing stages, that was the nice thing to have.
yeah. I love that you said that because I hate that I'm using this example, but I am. It's like when you take your parents somewhere, or like, hey, you're going to go buy a car, or you're going to go like look at an apartment, or you're going to go do this thing that you haven't done before. So you take your like parent figure with you, or whoever it is in your
Mm-hmm.
life that's more experienced, and so like you ask your questions, and you're like, okay, cool, I know what I need to know, like 3 questions, maybe 4,
Yeah.
and then they just have this laundry list of things that they want you to know,
Yeah.
that they ask, that they look for, that they consider, and you're like, I didn't think about any of this at all. And it used to annoy me that I was like, why are you getting so involved? Like, stop. Like, I got this. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
it took a long time for me to get to that point of like, no, like these are like the only reason I don't know these things is because I haven't experienced them and they have. And if I don't want to have the same issues they did, if I want to have a better outcome than they did in that
Mm-hmm.
situation, I need to consider that, okay, I need those questions, I need those like considerations, I need those things that they're looking for. So that's a great point of asking people and talking to people who've been in that position before you on like what they went through. Have you ever reached out to somebody who you don't know, um, but they've done what you want to do, therefore like you're kind of interested in their insight? Like if you're throwing an event, have you reached out to any like people who've thrown events that aren't already in your network or in your circle, but just to ask them like, hey, I enjoyed your event, would you mind like shooting the shit with me and like, talking about, could I ask you some questions about
Mm.
what went on, like how you like what you considered, like how you made this happen, etc.
Yes, I would say not. Well, I don't know, because I was gonna say even ground. There's the studio in Austin. This guy named Sun. He's in charge of the jams there, I believe. And I feel like he this whole year, Dallas been going down there like this whole entire year. And I feel like he always got to ask us like, well, I don't really care. We were actually people in his event, so he always asked us for like things, like
Mm-hmm.
just questions and how we feel about ideas and everything he's doing. And I was just like, okay, well, if he can go it this way, I feel like it should be the Oakland first should be okay. You know what I mean? And then even for
Mm-hmm.
like, so I guess what's the way to describe it? No, I don't think I went to external forces that people I don't know at all. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I've only did people that I've like have a certain rapport with. Like even if it's not
Mm-hmm.
like a super like the business side of dance rapport, it's still I feel like
Mm-hmm.
it's rapport enough to like even D Chop. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
inspired by him. I was like
Yeah.
his JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I was like, I'm not that smart. I'm not doing all what he's doing, but I can do it in my way. You know what I mean? But the
Mm-hmm.
inspiration still came from like that ideology of what he does. I was just like, I like what he does a lot. I'm like, how can I make this in my way, basically, in mind, body, soul? I've been thinking I was about for like a long time, and I was like, oh, that's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like what? And then also, what's up?
No, go ahead.
I was saying that also helped me, like even with like the idea for like that's why I know it's gonna get like I'm not worried at all. Like I said for this jam, is because I already have the next jam. I have it's gonna be a trilogy. Like because of the support and everything I got from like people, I already have the idea for the next jam, like borderline done. Like the idea is that I just got to actually put like the details into it. But like, and it's basically it's gonna be like a fixing of this jam. Like so, like I always say, like I gotta like people tell me like the flaws potentially from this jam. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I would say earlier, a question you asked earlier, like what goes into making a good event in your opinion? And one thing for me personally is always low key controversy. I'm not gonna lie to you. Every time I go to an event and I don't think I can like predict what's gonna happen at the end of the night. That just makes it more exciting and me more invested into watching it. You know what I mean? I feel like if people are like expecting things to go a certain way, it's you're not gonna have a good time, especially battlers because you're gonna be inside of it, obviously. But like
Mm-hmm.
spectator wise, I feel like that's I want the dancers to have fun. That's another thing I'm like the most focused on. I want the dancers to have fun, and I want the spectators to also have fun. I feel like I've gone to a lot of events where it's only one or the other, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
like even grounds events were good at both.
Yeah.
They were really good at both. Even if like, you didn't win or get something like how you wanted to go, you still having a good time though. You know what I mean? You're still having a good time regardless. So I'm like, I was trying to take inspiration from that aspect of their jams, of like the dancers having a great time and the battlers, and like what's the dancers and the spectators are having a good time, and like what's causing this to happen for everybody to be having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Good MC, good DJ, and a decent judge. There has to be a good judge, a decent judge. Like, because
Mm-hmm.
even like when the calls are crazy, whatever, like you don't think the calls are like accurate, that's still fun to watch because you don't
Yeah.
know what's gonna happen next. You can think the person you think is gonna sweep the whole thing is out first round. You're like, you know
Right.
what I mean? Like that kind of shit is like very like fun. And I was thinking for the battlers aspect of it, the reason why like I'm okay with running it the jam this way the first time is because I already have all the flaws that everyone talked about fixed now for the next jam. Like I
Gotcha.
already have the ideas. It's already fixed. Like I already all the flaws that everyone's told me about, like they can see arising. I already have it fixed for the second jam. So my thing is, let's just go up. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
let's have the first
So
one,
it
work the
right.
kinks out, and then but the
Right.
ideas is already fixed for the next one. Like it's already done. Like so all like the potential flaws that I've been hearing about, it's like well, it's already fixed for the next jam.
Mm-hmm.
Come back, it's gonna be even better next time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
So
I mean?
instead of trying to hurriedly address those issues for the first one, which is already happening and it's already like set in stone, you're taking the approach of, okay, well then we'll just make version two, like the next product essentially, like better
Yeah.
because of the first one. And we're just gonna see what happens. We're just gonna see what happens with the first one.
Hmm.
And we've already um, addressed it for round two. Do you feel like if are there any like anything that you think, okay, well, if will the outcome and the popularity and the attendance and all that stuff for the second one be impacted if the first one isn't already up to a specific standard, or do you feel like it's already up to
Mm.
the standard of like it's not going to be so bad even though we haven't addressed certain things that we were already addressing in round two. Round one isn't going to be so bad to where people aren't going to want to come to round two
Yeah, I
versus
wholeheartedly believe that too. I wholeheartedly. That's why I was okay with the flaws and everything because there were a lot of hypothetical situations
mm-hmm,
that I necessarily don't even care about. I
mm-hmm,
was like, it's supposed to like you can't predict it. Like, and people who like, I don't understand people who try to predict stuff anymore. I'm like, there's no need
mm-hmm,
to try to predict anything. You don't. It's life, bro. You don't know what's
mm-hmm,
gonna happen. How many times you ask for something and then you realize like 2 months later that you got what you asked for? It's not the way you
mm-hmm,
asked for it, and you're just like, oh, I already actually got this.
mm-hmm.
I just not how I wanted it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's never gonna go how you want it to go. Like the only thing you can do is
Mm-hmm.
plan for it to the best of your abilities and just enjoy the ride. Like there's no point of hating it unless like something God forbid it happens like negatively. There's no way it can be a bad time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like the pre planning was also done very well, like detailed. Like I have to the time frame with time in between of like how shit should go. Like I already
Mm-hmm.
have that, and I have somebody like Barney who's my MC who's also has MC for his own jam multiple times. You know what I mean?
Right.
So who knows how to keep a timeline going straight up. I have a DJ Canvas, as you know. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
who knows
Yeah.
how to make the whole room bump, and it's our in our own
Yeah.
city for the
I
like.
I I I think you've buffed your jam to like
Yeah,
already good points if you're including those two guys.
and
Um.
also even the judge MJG. The reason why I have MJG for the first one, I feel like this is equally skillful as it is creative jam. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? I feel like I needed
Right.
somebody who's god tier at skill and god tier creativity, so they can
Mm-hmm.
actually accurately judge the jam. I feel like
Right.
MJG would be the perfect person to judge this jam because he loves having concepts like that. You know what I mean? And it's like at the same time too, it's like if anyone wants to call him out because they feel a way about his judging, it's MJG. He's called people out more than anybody else has in our
He's gonna
city.
welcome a call out.
He's
Like
gonna
he
welcome
would
it.
100% welcome it because he'd be
He's
like,
gonna
all
love
right,
it.
run the ones then. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, you
Exactly. Like
step
he
up.
don't give
Yeah.
a shit. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
Yeah.
even on that aspect, even for battlers, if they get mad or anything, if they don't call it the judge, then it's your fault for not calling it the judge after you lost. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the thing you should do. And even then, if they do call it the judge is ready for smoke for them
Hmm.
instantly. And
I think
our judge
that's
got stamina. Like our
yeah.
judge is
I think
gonna go
that's
forever.
our judge does not stop. First of all, our judge does not stop. Um, I think that's a really I want to touch on that real quick. And this there's a larger insight to be had here, but I like the example of battling where if you lose your battle, many times the loser will say that was a whack decision. I don't agree. That shouldn't have happened, etc. Maybe their like friends will echo them, but they can't back it up um, to the judge because realistically, what are you going to do against the judge in many cases? The way I see it is you may have thought you were good enough to beat your opponent, but you're not good enough to beat a judge. So you can't even like call them out on it. Of like, I can't even call out the fact that I disagree because I don't think I'm good enough to beat that guy, like to beat the judge in the first place. I might have been good enough to beat this guy, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
not good enough to beat the judge, so I don't call them out. And I find that very interesting because I feel like, regardless of if you lose against the judge call out, it's still more important for you to assert your like your thought, your feelings of I do think I won that. I need to show the judge at least like listen, I think I won that. Here's why. And if they don't agree, that I mean, the decision is made regardless. You don't. I've never seen somebody reverse decisions ever, or like change winners. But I find it so interesting of like, oh, so many callouts don't happen because like yeah, like you could be you and the guy in front of you might have been a neck and neck and you just like lost the vote. But you and the judge is like up here. Like that's the difference between you two. That call out is not gonna work in your favor. And so
Mm-hmm.
I wonder like where that could be beneficial, where it could not. I know a lot of the times you just a lot of times you pull the judge aside, you talk to them of like what did I do wrong, like what can I do better on, and a lot of judges love having that conversation. They love like at least helping the dancer look at what maybe their flaws were in the round to get better. But I've rarely seen a call out go like good of like um they felt dancer felt wrong. They called out the judge. Judge and the contestant did a couple of rounds. Um, and it was like, oh man, judge might have been wrong. Very few times have I seen that. Just at least from the ones
Agreed.
that I've seen. But I just find that really interesting. Of I do wonder if that's why a lot of call outs also don't happen. I just like because I love the concept of a call out. It's so interesting. But I understand why a lot of call outs don't happen because I can never I can never imagine like just putting myself in the position of if I'm battling somebody and I think I can beat this person and I don't, my frame of mind isn't I need to call out a judge because I'm like I'm nowhere near that level yet. Like there's no way that I am articulating my point in a battle against a judge versus words. And so I find call outs very interesting. And I believe they happen at a higher level. I rarely see call outs happen at like a lower like skill level, lower like a beginner level or lower intermediate. I feel like call outs happen a lot when it's like higher intermediate to
Mm-hmm.
like high, whatever's above intermediate in that sense.
Legend, honestly, it's a legend.
Yeah, exactly. Like because at that point you're like I still want to get rounds in. So
Mm-hmm.
somebody's got to fight, and who can I fight right now?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it's a very interesting concept. And I might have been talking myself in circles, but
No, you're good. I
it is what it
understand. I hear
is.
what you're saying. It is what it is. I already
Um,
said it.
yep,
Okay, I would say from like my perspective of everything, I would say as this year, I've battled more this year than I have in my entire life. I swear to God, bro. I've battled more in this one year than I've my entire like I doubled or almost tripled my number this year alone, just battling like just this
crazy.
year alone. And I was like, and that's one thing I that actually not struggle with. Something I had to accept before I started battling, before I could just do it often. Was I know my style is weird. I know that I took a really unique path in dance that I feel like most people are never ever gonna. Most people actually aren't even gonna think about taking. And I feel like because of that, though, even though no matter how I feel about stuff, I'm going to feel how I feel regardless. You know what I mean? Like even if I win or lose, I don't really care about winning or losing it. My goal is battle of the night, honestly. That's just my goal. Battle of the night. That's
Mm-hmm.
all that's the only thing I'm trying to go for nowadays. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like style clashes make battles, make great battles, and I feel like anyone I go against is gonna be a style clash for the most part. Like
Mm-hmm.
anyone I go against. So it's like I don't so I would say for me, call outs don't really I don't really care about call outs because the judges are all gonna be different. Like that's all I learned about even ground battles the most. It's like that you're not no matter whoever the judge, it's always one judge. So whoever who that one judge is like that's gonna dictate how the night's gonna go. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like that's they're their own person. Like I have my own criteria. What I've been thinking I'm winning in my head, I'm like, I'm fucking them up. In my criteria, I'm fucking people up. I'm like, it's no competition, honestly. I'm like, why are we talking about this for real? But that's my criteria. That's not their criteria. You know what I mean? So it's
Mm-hmm.
like I could either get to know this person's criteria, but then I have to like adjust to who I'm battling. I have to adjust for my mental for the judge. When I'm like
Mm-hmm.
in my head, I'm like, that's not who I'm dancing for. I'm dancing for the
Mm-hmm.
exchange of who I'm battling. You know what I
That's a
mean?
that's a very new gen mentality. And I know you'll agree with this, but you you think about the way like the OGs and the vets grew up, and like a lot of stuff was like forced, where like if you wanted to battle, you gotta like do the foundations. If you wanted to feel like you're
Mm-hmm.
good, and like everybody was very competitive, and it's like you had to be competitive because I was talking to a group of friends at one point, and one of their definitions of being a dope dancer, and dope at capital letters, not just like lowercase,
Mm-hmm.
was like your battle record. And so it was like you had to care about winning. You couldn't like it felt weird. Like, why are you battling if you're not trying to win? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's I've noticed a change in the newer gen. One, when I was in there, and two, the people that I'm still seeing now, of a lot of the times they don't want to battle to win. They just want to spar because they found more enjoyment, and it's more important that they enjoy what they're doing versus just winning. Winning isn't the enjoyment that they have. It's like it's like it's changing from the end result is it's changing from the end result to the process mentality of like, I don't care about winning, I care about having fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about winning the battle. I care about if I was battle of the night, even if I lose, right? I don't
Yeah.
care if um I don't care if I like win this or win one battle, as long as like, you know, I had fun. I learned all these different things that aren't winning is the only thing that matters. And that's a very newer generation mentality, and that that transcends not just like transcends across different industries. It's not just dance; it's a lot of things now.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
it's something that I could never get behind because I don't have a competitive bone in my body at all. Um, and I could never convince myself that winning was like the way, like what I wanted. I never wanted to win. I didn't care about that. Um, because like the stuff I always did was like, it doesn't matter if I win because it's all me. Versus, me beating this other person gives me the enjoyment and the respect, or the like personal, what's it called? I respect myself more if I win. Like that mentality.
Mm.
I never had that. So it was so hard when I was trying to battle, of like, I'm supposed to care about winning. I'm supposed to care about like beating this other person. I'm supposed to care about being good enough that I can win. I'm like, I don't. I really
Mm-hmm. I
don't.
don't. I really don't either. I
Um
can give a flying fuck.
mhm.
Like I said
Like
earlier, it's a judge. Like with the judges thing, it's like no matter who the judge is of that day, that's gonna dictate how your night's gonna go. And what if you the judge don't vibe? Like I feel like the last jam, right? I won't say the judge was per se, but it was like one of those situations where it's like I feel like our personality in that moment, how we both like chose to battle that day, was against what the judge liked in general. You know what I mean? I feel like we were
mhm.
going from me and the other guy. I think he's phenomenal. I was like, I don't care. It's one of those things. I didn't care about that. I didn't make it. He didn't make it, and I feel like I had an amazing round. I loved my round. I thought it was one of my favorite rounds I've ever done in my life, especially in battle in public. I was like, well, I'm gonna get to this point later, but yeah, I feel like we both had like a certain bravado about us that I feel like the judge necessarily didn't like. And I was like, hey, I thought about it afterwards. I was like, ah, probably don't. Actually, I know they don't like this first kind of stuff. Hmm. But at the same time, too, it's like I don't care because like I got my point
Mm-hmm.
across still. How I wanted to get my point across. Like I didn't make it past prelims, but I still the whole night was getting respect from everybody, like the
Mm-hmm.
entire night. Like because they felt me. You know, my goal. Like, I think I told you, like my goal has been feeling more recently,
Yeah.
and I feel like I got to my and during my prelim round, I got to a point where I had people really feel me, like genuinely feel me. And that shout out to Exorcist. I got that idea from him because he just be going straight on energy. Like he can win a round. I've seen him win a round on energy alone. Like not even dancing. He just literally just bopping. I mean he's dancing, but he's just like
Right.
like hitting the whole crowd on his side. You know what I mean? I feel like I wanted to try something like that so I can get the feeling I wanted, which is like pure freedom, pure glee. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And I feel like during my prelim round, I felt that. So like even though I didn't make it past prelims, I'm not mad at that because I got the feeling that I wanted across.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like even though the first time
Mm-hmm.
I lost, I was like you either like I'm new to battling. I'm not gonna be the best battler the day one. You know what I mean? Like I've
Yeah.
battled for years, but it's like I've never like been into I've been more into watching battles than actually battling. Because my mentality for
Mm-hmm.
battling, I think, was just wrong this entire time. Like I've been a little
Yeah.
bitch, honestly, this whole time about it when it comes to it. And now I'm just like, okay, don't try to win instantly because you're not going to win instantly. Everybody here has been doing this longer than you. Everyone here tries harder than you for sure. So what are you gonna do? And it's like baby steps to get your small dubs when you can. Like the first
Mm-hmm.
battle, I wanted to just win. I just wanted not win. I wanted to give it my all versus this guy, or tap in at least, lock in versus this guy. I really wanted to lock in because I like this guy. I think he's a good dancer. I'm like, my goal is just to lock in. I locked in. And so I think I lost steam at the end. So I logged back out after I hit something. I was like, oh, I'm crazy. But like that's like I said, it's like, okay, I got what I wanted across, and I see my
Mm-hmm.
flaws and what I'm trying to do certain things like this and this and this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm like, cool. I understand how this feels now. Not I know I can tap into it if I want to tap. If I need to tap into it, I know I can push myself to tap into it. I know what
Right.
not to do after that. You know what I mean? Like after I get the idea, like the whatever top I have, I know what to do, not to do afterwards now. You know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
just like baby steps. You got to keep learning.
Yeah. No, I think the experience
This experience is
um
the best teacher.
experience mindset is like the a much better mentality to be in early on because yeah, like if your entire focus was winning from day one and you keep losing,
That's what it was.
you're going to keep just like you're shooting your mental wall. But if your mental wall is based on like I need to gain experience so that at some point all I do is win, that's gonna I feel like that's gonna build you up even more. Do you have a competitive do you feel like you're a competitive person?
For the sport, not because I want to win for real. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I'm competitive just for the sake of like if somebody else is in this energy too, and like they want to be this way, because I'm down for anything. I really don't. Like I'm gonna have fun regardless. Like whatever
Mm-hmm.
what we do, I'm gonna have fun regardless. Like I don't care. Like I'm down for anything. Like I want to be a free spirit type shit. Like for real. Like I want to be like do whatever the fuck I want. Like low key, I want to do it in a battle one day. If I know the person well enough, I'm like, you want to do like a specific kind of battle? Like you just do a
Yeah.
concept battle like with the you know what I mean? Like I don't. I'm here for the fun of it, the aspect of it, because I feel like that's what I think I want to do with dance. It's something I've never like really tried to do before that I wanted to start doing
Mm-hmm.
now is being entertaining for people to watch. I feel like I've always been
Mm-hmm.
entertaining for dancers to watch, but not for people to watch. If that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. I never cared about people watching me dance. I don't care if that, you know what I mean? I've only cared
Yeah.
about dancing with dancers, you know? So now I'm like, I think my goal now is more like, I want to be entertaining for people to watch. And I feel like to do that, I just have to be, myself, I feel like an entertaining person already. I just have to like put that, me, myself into my dance more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's my part of my
Interesting.
personality too. Is if you trying to like talk some shit, I'm down to talk some shit. It's not gonna be
Mm-hmm.
my first. I'm not gonna talk shit first to you. Actually, I will nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if that's what we want to do, I'm down for it. Like, I'm not gonna be phased. Like nothing bothers me really for the most part, especially in dance. I'm like, I'm here on my
Yeah.
off day. I'm here on my off day to have a good time. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm here to like, if we want to talk some shit, let's do it. I'm down. If you want to like
Yeah.
chill out, like go with like a different kind of bag, I'm down. Like whatever you want us to do. I think it's more like yeah. I think it's more I want to match the energy of whatever's happening in front of me, just so it can like be. more enjoyable for both parties.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I would say that's a good thing I'm blessed about now. People want to battle me, no matter what people think my skill level is. People like of all levels want to battle me. Like they like told me like they can't wait to get in the ring with me or like go across from me just because
Mm-hmm.
the energy. You know what I mean? Like I feel like in Dallas the whole time it's been a big thing about foundation or whatever. So I feel like I've
Yeah.
gotten something different now that it's harder to harness. If that makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
not harder to harness. It's something that people a lot of people don't harness. Like they have one aspect of dance, but not this aspect. Some people have both, but you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But like I feel like I feel like
Interesting.
I've maxed out on the other aspect of it, and I'm now because I feel like I'm not maxed out, but I feel like I've unlocked this other aspect. And now that I feel like I
Mm-hmm.
unlocked this other aspect, now I feel comfortable with going back to this aspect too. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like I feel like
Yeah.
I have this now. I'm okay with going more foundational now. Like I'm
Right.
like I've satisfied because like I said, I'm stubborn, but I'm satisfied now in my what I got from this side. I'm okay with going to
Mm-hmm.
this side. If I should be in problems from
Gotcha.
reaching everything because I'm like fuck it. I'm like well, I feel like I got the feeling I want. You know what I mean? You can't. It's like
Yeah.
that pure happiness when I was dancing. Like people can
Mm-hmm.
feel. Like I feel like I'm. People can feel me very easily. I feel like whatever my energy is, it's gonna shoot off like a motherfucking wall. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like I'm using. I understand that. I feel like I know how to harness that feeling down. So it's like that's my superpower for sure. That's why you can't tell me nothing for real. Like how you gonna tell somebody who's genuinely happy after their round that they round sucked? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like even if it
Yeah.
is a bad round, it still
Yeah.
won't be a bad round because you feeling the energy. It's like they didn't look very good, but I liked everything I was feeling. You know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
with you still. I
Yeah.
was still like, okay, we still here. Like you know what I mean? Like that's what I
I
was
get
like
that.
trying to I think accomplish in harness is like
Mm-hmm.
understanding how to get that and genuinely feel that way. Because like I said, it was a feelings based, and now I'm going I think more for look based. So it's like yeah,
Right. So then help me switch gears here, and I want to talk about community
yes.
because that is something I've learned a lot from you over the past, and I kind
Mm.
of want to pick your brain on this. Um, we've talked previously just, about, men's mental health and kind of our friend groups and the people that we talk to, the people who are in our like support system and stuff. And I want to stay in that circle. Um, are there any role models, like male role models that you see in like our community? I say our because even though like I'm in Pennsylvania now, I still call Dallas
Oh,
my
as you
hub,
should.
and
That's
so
true. No, it's for sure your home for sure.
um, but do you feel like there are good male role models in our community?
Yes, there for sure are. They are the ones I feel like who are not in the limelight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I feel
Good point.
like MJG, Shadows, of course I'm going older. I'm not going like honestly it's crazy to even think about nowadays. We are the older ones now. Never mind. Damn.
No, because no, I think it's an interesting thought exercise of the people that when maybe you were newer, you were younger, you were newer into the scene or into the community in general. Like, who are you looking to? Who are you basing your thoughts off of, your behaviors off of, your interactions off of?
I would
And
say they're all
then,
bad. I would say my generation of that time, everyone was bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think any of
mm,
them were mentally who mentally should have done what they did for real. Like I'm grateful for that everyone did what they did for real because like it
mm,
got me to where I am to this day. But
mm,
for them as people at that time, in my opinion,
mm,
no, that was not the best idea for them because I mean you can
mm,
just see in their relationships with people nowadays that it's like it's
mm,
not in the best interest. There's a couple that I just necessarily wouldn't personally put on my list, but people do love them, and I'm like that's fine and everything. But I was like, even then, I'm just like the traits that you're displaying. Like I literally based my directing skills off of
mm,
the invert of them. Like I like
mm,
I feel like all the mentors that I had, like the mentors in my growing up like time. Maybe because I'm also an outsider too. That could be another thing. I came in as an outsider, so I didn't really know much
mm,
about like the people in dance and like how they should talk to each other. I just felt like I'm
mm.
like as a person to person, you're pissing me off a little bit, bro. I'm like
Yeah.
human to human, you're pissing me off. Not like in no This is not even dance related at all. This is zero dance related in this conversation I'm having right now. It's
Mm-hmm.
pure like what the fuck. Even though I'm in this space for the dance part of it,
Mm-hmm.
so it was like very
Yeah.
jarring. So I'm trying to like base my like way of like even being. I guess they did raise me then. Never mind. They did influence
No,
me
because
heavily.
I've
They
I,
did influence
I've
me.
I must have heard it on a podcast somewhere, or I was reading something, and it just stood out to me of like the concept of a role model and then the concept of an anti-role model. And I don't think they put it with that word, but that's just the way I think of it is a role model sometimes is like the inspiration to be like them or be similar to them or put your path maybe in their same path along their path
Mm-hmm.
versus the anti-role model is I don't want this. And that's also really good. Like it's the idea of an elimination diet of I don't want this. I don't want these behaviors. I don't want these interactions. I don't want these thoughts. I don't want to be like this person. So if you carve that out of like the person of your path, you have a much narrower but maybe a more directed path a different way of like I know I don't want this, so I can go somewhere else versus you already have like four paths open. You have four paths to choose from. Okay, I don't want path four. Now you only have three paths. Much easier
Mm-hmm.
decision and much more focused decision. So I agree with you. Like a lot of the people that we were learning from when we were newer into the scene, younger, etc., were not equipped to be in that position. Maybe I feel like because we all saw that, a lot of us now are trying to not be like that for those who are new again. Of because
Mm-hmm.
I still see a MJG, a Trent, a um a canvas to to a large extent of like my role, like people who I learned from in the past, who I still then sometimes do look to of like what are they doing, and it's not because they're still in dance, it's because what are they doing? Like MJG is filmmaking,
Mm-hmm.
canvas is pivoting to DJing,
Mm-hmm.
um, and so like I still look to them as like a role model for inspiration, um, but then I also look to Andy, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Andy's a peer, but to me he is also a role model of somebody who I work to have the same work ethic for as.
Agreed. I feel you with
Um
that.
so like that's what I was thinking about this question of like are there any good male role models in the community? And I feel like they are, and they may not just be they may not have to be dance related or dance adjacent, but they're still in the community.
Mm-hmm.
I do still like look to D-Shaw when it comes to these like events creation. I look to Major for like videography and film, and also like filmmaking. I look to these people who are still in the community of like, you know, there are things that I can take from this person, like positive things I can take from this person to like mold who I want to be like and what I want to be. Um, but sorry, no, yeah, back to the question. If you think like, fast forward from when we were new to now, who do you think? And you don't have to list names, but I think you said there are good ones um, now too.
Mm-hmm. For sure. No, honestly, the boys, real. I know you named half of them. Like
Fair.
you honestly named half of them. Like that, yeah, the boys for real. Like putting in work. They
Mm-hmm.
doing with like what they want to do. I think that's like the dopest thing, honestly. The goals
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to set to achieve, they're achieving. Even Jesse, and like stuff like that. Like Edward, like out there in LA right now. You know what I mean? Everyone who's like
Mm-hmm.
honestly people who are just being true to themselves. You know what I mean? Just staying low and just doing what they're supposed to be doing. Those are I think
Mm-hmm.
like the good role models for real. Like for real, for
Uh,
real.
I had a conversation with Andy like the end of the week when I had a conversation with you and we were talking. Um, and I still think about this every week, if not every few days, of the quote of I asked for this, I did this to myself,
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay. But then he also told me something else in the call, which you and I didn't talk about, was he said I get to do this.
Yes.
Um, and reminding yourself that, you know, it's work, it's long hours, it's never feeling maybe you're like you're off the clock or whatever, but I get to do this versus having to do something else. Um, and I think that was very interesting, an interesting perspective from him that I am constantly trying to like remind myself of, you know, the book reviews that I like to type up and post, or the videos that I like to make, or the conversations that I get to have with try to have with people. Um, I chose to do this. It is stressful sometimes of like no one's listening, no one's reading, no one's watching, etc. But I still get to do this. I still have the opportunity,
Mhm.
whereas previously I didn't. I had to make it, or I might have been in a space where I was like, it doesn't matter, or I'm just gonna do what I have to do and get through it, etc. I think I get to do this is so much of a nicer way to get through the work sometimes. Of this is work right now, but I get to do this work. You know, this is a choice. It's not a compulsion. It's not an obligation. It's not like I have to do this and I don't want to. It's I get to do this because I want to.
Mm. I
So
hear you.
we had talked about that, and then you know I said that to lead into this next thing because we're still like on like the role model talk of like or the people that you kind of have around you. He said something about, and I'll just read what I wrote down. Show people the person you're going to be as opposed to who you are. And it's a different take on the fake it till you make it idea concept that I've been intimately familiar with since I was a teenager. Of if you are working towards being this different person, this newer version of yourself, this better version of yourself, show that to people. Like when you meet somebody that you haven't talked to in a while, don't go back to the person who you were when you met them, or who like don't go back to their memory of you. Show them who you are currently, and who you are currently is also who you're trying to be. Show them who you're trying to be. I'm trying to be somebody who has thoughtful conversations with friends and people around him because I can't stand small talk. I fucking hate it with a passion. Um, so when I talk to people now, I try and figure out like, is there a conversation to be had here that like we can both be engaged in for a good amount of time. We can both feel like it was a good talk with the other person as opposed to a throwaway interaction. Because then at that point, you just maybe did you just waste time with somebody?
Mm.
Did you waste it? I'm. It goes back to part of me people pleasing of like, did I waste their time because I engaged them in small talk that neither of us really cared about?
Mm.
Versus, um, could I have gleaned some information from them to like have a better conversation with them? Did I ask them about any of their interests? Like, what are you interested in right now? Um, which is something that I want to ask you next is, have you read or listened to anything that you find interesting, and or are you interested in something that isn't like dance or like the work that you do, etc. right now?
Um, I would say yes, and that is fostering the relationships I think I've made over the years, making sure those are better because it's very hard to keep everything and help with everybody. I feel like that's a big thing, and doing experience, going like new experiences with everybody for sure. I'm like last year, 20s especially. I'm like that's my goal right now is for sure to like just do everything with everybody, like
Mm-hmm.
and just experience new things with everybody. You know what I mean? Like let's go. I'm going to Colorado with actually Barney and Andy, and Barney's for Barney's girlfriend's birthday, and that's just with all her friends. It's gonna be us three and all her friends. So it's like something
Mm-hmm.
to like yeah, let's just like like just enjoy.
Yeah.
Like I never still got snowboarded before. Like it's just experiencing new things with different kinds of people.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's like my
Nice.
biggest thing I'm on right now, honestly, with my people that I want to
Mm-hmm.
experience it with. There we go. That's the biggest thing. Not just random people. Cause I do a lot of things with random people all the time, and I gotta stop doing that. That's so not. That's not okay. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but it was like people that I care about, experiencing new things with that. I feel like that's my like
Mm-hmm.
the next 4 to 5 months goal.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I feel
yeah.
like a lot of people are experiencing the same thing you're experiencing right now of maybe, and luckily it's happening now and not later, of I want to do things with the people that I've built friendships with.
Life is
And I want
short.
them to
Life
be like
is too
meaning. I
short.
want them to be meaningful things. Exactly. Life is very short, and so it doesn't make sense to just be on autopilot. Like go out and do things with people. Like reach out to people that you want to reach out to, and like, hey, I want to go do something. I also want to spend time with you. Can we combine those two? Like, what are you interested in? What do you want to do? Or do you want to go do something? Let's go do something. It's something that I did not take advantage of when I was in the area, and then I moved, and now I'm seeing that a lot of the things that I would enjoy doing, I realize I really would have enjoyed doing this with somebody. In summary, yeah, I think a lot of people now are seeing that it's not all about work. It's not all about like solopreneurship. It's not all about, you know, doing it alone. I think we're getting away from the hustle culture, do it yourself mindset, and moving to another like community based mindset of I want to do this with friends. I want to do this with people I enjoy doing this with. I want to go reach out to these people. I want to talk to these people. I want to have a better relationship with them because at some point in life, I'm not going to be able to see everybody all the time. And when I do see them, I want it to be good. I don't want it to be like 20 minutes. I want it to be like 2 hours, you know?
No,
Um,
that's how I feel like I feel like life is going right now. I'm loving it because of that. Because honestly, like there's a couple of like deaths that happened recently that like got to me for real, like genuinely got to me, and I was like,
mm-hmm.
it's not fair. Who like it's like too way too young. You know what I mean? And B,
Yeah.
it's like this could be any one of us any day, any
Yeah.
day. Like if I can make this happen, I will make this happen. Like that's how I
Mm-hmm.
feel about it for real. If I can make this happen, we should do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like for real. Because it's like why not?
Death is the one thing that I think opens most people's eyes of um, what is
And it was
really
that.
important. What is really important. Um, I want to close this off uh, with some advice from you. Um, if there's anybody listening, if you could tell somebody who's listening one thing, whether it can be anything, anything related, but if you like who, who you are now, you want to tell somebody one thing, what would that be?
For me as a person right now, honestly, Hakuna Matata. It means no worries. You know what I mean? Like really, just like,
That's so you. That's
but
so
like for
you.
real though, like for real, like there's no need to. It'll work out if you're doing like I guess good enough or like the right thing. Yeah, I feel like it should work out. And if it doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
guess what? It wasn't meant to work out. You know?
True. There's nothing wrong with something not working out. I
Yeah, exactly. There's
I
nothing wrong with
say
it at
that.
all.
I can't. I have never been able to think like that. But there's nothing wrong with it not working out. I'm stubborn too. So what you said earlier was like, you're stubborn with certain things. I'm stubborn with certain things as well. And so
Mm-hmm.
there's certain things where I can't let it be like, oh, this didn't work out and I'll drop it. I'm like, no, this
Mm.
will work out. It has to.
I
Um,
feel you on that too. No, yeah, but
but
what is it? What's my other thing now though too? It's players fuck up sometimes. You know? Players fuck
mm,
up, but it's all good. You know why? Because they keep playing. That's why they never fuck up again. That's why they can call players.
fair,
You know, you keep
fair.
going back at it. You know, like when you fuck up, it's like you learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
No L is just
True.
lessons for real.
True. Ooh, I'm snapping into the mic. You better hear this. I like that. I like
mm.
that. I like that. Cam,
Yeah,
I
that's
appreciate you
pretty.
coming on.
That's me. Thank you for having me.
Of course. You were the first person that I got on a call with when I was trying to catch back up with like friends and life and everything, and I appreciate that. I appreciate how available you are, even though we are all busy in our lives. How available you are, um, to have conversations and to have talks. Um, where can people find you?
Instagram until I deactivate it again, and just can't me G. It's gonna be great.
Amazing.
I'm
Amazing.
trying to go. I'm trying to
And
be nature hoe for real. I want to go off the grid for real. I want to just experience things for real.
I
But I'm
keep
throwing
telling
an
myself I
event, so I
should do
can't.
that. I was just about to ask, do you want to shout out the event?
Oh yeah, ease your mind. December 29th. It's gonna be jam that plays with the idea of mind, body, and soul, and how you can like practice each one of those things in between in the rounds you're doing in your dance, and see how that feels. To see how like, it feels different. Ease your mind.
Can people buy tickets now?
Nope, only at the door and day
Gotcha.
of.
Okay.
We want to, yeah, yeah. We're gonna make it fair for everybody. It's gonna be a cap probably. A lot of people are gonna. I think a lot of people are gonna show up. So I want to make it fair for people.
Okay. Is there a flyer already or no?
Yes, there is actually. It's on my Instagram page or EFB's Instagram page.
All right. We will pull that and put it on the screen for people.
Okay, thank you.
I was gonna say I deleted Snapchat finally.
Oh,
First, my
nice.
first time deleting something like that because I was like, I'll just keep it because there are friends that I chat with at some point on Snapchat. I was like, no, don't need it, especially because I turn notifications off for the app and they keep sending me notifications. I'm like, how does this work?
Yeah.
How do I have them turned off and yet I'm still getting the banners and I don't do well with the notifications. So
Honestly,
um,
I'm gonna delete mine too. You made a good point. I'm gonna delete mine too.
it's not there's no need for it anymore.
There's literally no need for it. I have it for one friend who also has me on number and me on Instagram. She don't need it. I think she like talking to me on Snapchat, but I'm like, she don't.
Yeah.
She don't really need it.
Right.
Like,
Right.
grow up. You can text me. It's fine. Like,
Yeah. We can talk like adults now.
exactly. It's fine. It's all the way fine. We can go get dinner. Like, it's okay. Like,
Yeah.
like all right, my man.
Thank you, brother.